Hello everyone, welcome back to another Circle of the World video. I am your host, Harrison the Adeptus Historical, and today we'll be covering the Long Eye. Typically when I write, I try to get as much knowledge as I can from different sources. Frankly, the Long Eye is a near complete mystery. All I have are the accounts of others who have seen it happen, and fortunately, of one user herself. I wonder how much the mystery itself affects the usefulness of it. The reputation behind it is quite strong on the north. After being used by Karib in the Great Northern War with Bethod, many men saw it in action, even the Union men, even if they were to deny it. And then, of course, famously, Black Rico took over the north thanks to the Long Eye. In terms of its properties, though, even among other magic users, such as Baez, or when I had spoken to Yulwei long ago, they seem not to know exactly how it works either. Northmen say there are sorcerers all the time in the north. How many of them are actual sorcerers, and how many of them are people with the Long Eye, it's hard to say. It's also a large rumor that perhaps Kremiki Fail, the chieftain of the Hillmen before his son took over, also had the Long Eye. He was a little crazy, which having a Long Eye would make you, I imagine, a little crazy. And he seemed to know things before they happened, which is exactly why the Long Eye is so powerful. It seems to allow the user to peer into a possible future, or possibly a set future. It's hard to tell. Although it pained her to speak about it, Rika did tell me that she knew that she was going to have to turn in the late King Orso to Leo Dambrock. She told me because I was trying to figure out how the Long Eye worked. I thought maybe she could help me. She was kind of affluent about it. She didn't seem to care about the details as much. She made an odd mention of who knows if she actually has it or not, which was odd, but she did definitely know how it worked to a certain degree. She said that she had to mark those runes around her eyes, which was done by Karib, the previous Long Eye user. Which I don't know how she survived an axe to the head, like the Northmen said that they gave her, but nevertheless. They put on her eye 11 wards and 11 wards reversed. That's the same wards used to hold back the House of the Maker, to keep it locked up, to keep whatever is inside. Is also what Baez used whenever he used the seed to contain the magic. 11 wards reversed and 11 wards are to hold back the most powerful magic that this world can know. This was what leads me to believe that the Long Eye, it's less so the magic itself. The Long Eye got its name from seeing into the future and seeing beyond what human eyes can see, as Karib could see troop movements from far away. Now, I believe the Long Eye is a sort of portal into the other side. It allows you to peer through the other side back into our own world like a filter. And it allows you to sometimes manipulate that the more skilled you get. If you were to bound your long eye, it might hold back that magic, or subdue it, or make it manageable. It's because the long eye is a direct teleportation, is a direct line to the other side. Something that is so rare in our world, as magic is leaking from our world. There are no spirits left, the Magi grow older, and Canadius is gone, with no one to continue his works. Well, perhaps not no one, but still. Yet the long eye endures. The Adeptus Physical propose that perhaps they're also related down from demons themselves also, like Pharaoh, and that the long eye is a demon blood trait. But that doesn't fit with anything else. Truly, its origins are a complete mystery, but its power is nothing to be scoffed at. Mist can be called forth, perhaps from the other side itself. You can see, like I said, much farther than normal people can. And you can see into the future, or at the very least a possible future. That alone makes it extremely powerful. In terms of combat, it doesn't fare much. But if you knowing what your opponent is going to do, it could be enough. The thing that I find most interesting is that the Magi seem to fear the long eye. Probably because they don't understand it themselves, and they're used to having to understand everything. I wonder if the long eye is just something left over in humans from whenever the other side was here. Perhaps these people were left over. People who had learned to harness magic, but they weren't demons. Merely humans who learned how to navigate the other side of our world together and to filter it through, and became something that was genetic, passed down, or jumps every generation or so. I'm sure if Eus himself had realized that humans themselves could use magic in such a way, he probably would have snuffed it out. But it seems to have gone under the radar, as it is a rare gift, or a curse. As for being able to do other things, such as enhance Fenris the Feared, as Karib had done, or summon mists, as I had spoken about before, it seems to be that Karib embraced the Long Eye. It became her whole embodiment of who she was, is to be able to manipulate it, which made her a force to be reckoned with. She was somehow able to, at a distance, see all. She was able to not only peer into the future, but into the past. And Rico said that she could do the same. And peering to the past, I believe, perhaps I'm biased, but is more powerful than people would like you to know. You can see where things were, when things happened, why things happened. It's going to be keeping, and perhaps that's the true power of the Long Eye. Not that Rico had all abused it. She's a wonderful woman. What mistakes not to make. Truly something that we could all learn. But I fear that I don't think it's going to be used for history, even though we could learn so much from it. There was one other aspect of the Long Eye that's hard to say if it's the Long Eye itself or something else. But Karib was able to control the Shenka. Rika said that Karib had spoken about the Shenka, saying that she understood what they needed. And we've talked about, and wrote about the Shenka before. Perhaps Karib really did just know how they were made, the pain that they went through. She was able to have that understanding because of the Long Eye, which allowed her to communicate with them. Or perhaps she reached through the Long Eye itself into the other side, and used the magic there. The same magic that was created them. He used it to control them. The latter would make me sad, but this is our world. In conclusion, I believe the Long Eye is very powerful, very useful. Perhaps not in the combatant sense, but in a grand scheme of things. And with it being something that the Magi do not understand, that the Devil Blood's unrelated to them. My hope for the Long Eye is that it will be used for humanity. That whatever darkness may be coming, that it is countered by the Long Eye. That it is put in check. Perhaps other sorcerers will come about as well, but there's just too little information to speak about them. The Long Eye is a human weapon. Perhaps passed on from our ancestors. Perhaps it was a curse. Perhaps we are related to devils. But in the end, it's one of the only powers that the others can't control.